Do you know that if you hear a really high-pitched sound later on in pregnancy, you can just start spurting milk from your boobs? Like two rockets. It's like boom, boom, pow!
Hello everyone, welcome to our second episode of Exploit It this week, the show where we talk about exploitation and cult films. I'm Alexis Jowski.
And nature is a cunt.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I'm Kevin Daly.
And this week we're talking about Prevenge, 2016, directed by Alice Lowe.
I'm really sorry about your loss, and I know it's been very difficult for you. At the end of the day, you've got this force of nature now inside you. Baby knows what to do. Baby will tell you what to do. It's just nature's way.
I think nature's a bit of an arse, though, don't you?
You're getting better at this.
I'm not in control. Don't want to know what's in there. I'm scared of her. I would swap her
To have him back. If he can't hear you,
She can't. She's very articulate.
Kill him, or I kill you.
Do you want a drink?
If it's fun you're after, you've come to the right place.
I'm on the dark side. You would not believe what I've been doing recently.
Oh!
Very efficient with that one. I was wondering if I could talk to you about child charity.
you're insane.
I am a working mother. Children these days are really spoiled. Like, Mummy, I want a PlayStation. Mummy, I want you to kill that man.
Listen to the sound of my voice.
Baby knows best.
You're a real bad girl.
Negativity's not good for the baby's spirit, really.
Do you think?
Well, written by, directed, and starring Alice.
Mm-hmm. While she was, in fact, pregnant herself.
She was 8 months pregnant while filming this.
Yep.
Alice Lowe is a British film and television actress, mostly comedy. She's in Hot Fuzz and The World's End.
Yeah. What was that? The character, I recognize the name of the character.
It was like... I haven't seen Hot Fuzz in a million years.
Yeah, I need to watch that again.
This is her first time as a writer-director, although she does have another film currently in production called Time Stalker.
Oh.
Yep.
That sounds like something we would cover.
Yep. Some of the other cast in here I go through as they pop up, so I'm not going to go over them now.
Yeah.
Before we get into the movie, make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Give us a like, a rating, a review. Drop us a baby emoji, or I don't know, a baby.
Yeah, I think we're. Are there talking babies on emojis? Would you do that one?
I did watch a TikTok that had a baby that was babbling, and their dad kind of auto-tuned it into a song.
There you go.
You can find more of our episodes at www.exploititpodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram at exploititpodcast or on Twitter at podcastexploit. You can also join our Exploit It Discord. It's just Exploit It, and the link is on the website. You could also find our episodes on YouTube, where I'm also starting to do like video essays about whatever topics we're covering. Hopefully I'll have one up by the time this airs.
Which is pregnancy horror currently.
Yeah, pregnancy horror is the topic. Yeah, so this movie begins with cliffs and crashing waves. It's so scenic. But we find out more about that later. Because we meet our protagonist, Ruth. She's going into an exotic pet shop.
Yeah.
That's like snakes and bugs and lizards. And she's like, oh, I'm here to buy a pet for my kid. You know, and she's getting along with this guy that runs it.
Yep.
Even though there's like bizarre innuendo.
Yeah, he's flirting really hard with some really weird innuendo.
Yeah, like he shows her this snake. He's like, that's my big fat snake.
Ooh, what's a trouser snake?
Do you want to touch my snake? And then, he shows her a tarantula. He's like, I want to take you in the back, show you my private collection.
And I'm like,
Yeah, and then shows her the spider, and he's like leaning over. He's like, she's pregnant. Like you, beautiful. And then when he gets on the ground to try and like call out this other spider, she gets a knife and slashes his throat open. Just kills him right there.
Yep, just kills him right there.
Yep, and she kisses his dead forehead and gets out of there, and we get our title. Yeah, so Ruth, she's on the metro. She's got a book that's like Baby's First Steps, but it's a murder journal.
Yeah.
It's just full of madness and anger and death.
Which we'll learn shortly might actually be the baby's first steps.
Yeah. And she's back home. She's laying in bed. She's looking at a picture of her deceased partner.
Yep.
And there's like thumping from the apartment next door. And then the baby starts talking. Baby is like, listen, Mummy, that's how I was made. You can forget about that ever happening again. And so, yeah, this is the kind of movie we're in. This woman and her talking fetus.
Yep. I love the voice acting from the kid.
Oh, yeah. The voice acting from the baby is fucking brilliant.
It reminded me of Disco Elysium, the inner monologues you have in that game. It definitely made me smile. Like, this kid's psycho, but also really funny.
And so we get an important scene here. It's not like important but to the story, but it's important to the visual narrative, where she's watching this black and white film, which is 1934's Crimes of Passion.
Oh.
And it has these Furies, from like Greek mythology, because it revisits that visual thing quite often throughout, and the idea of the Furies from Greek mythology. So anyway, Ruth goes to see her new midwife, who's kind of a daffy woman.
Yeah.
And she randomly brings up, do you know that if you hear a high-pitched sound later on in pregnancy, you can just start spurting milk from your boobs, like bow, bow.
Does actually come up later.
Yeah. Ruth's like, why are you telling me this? Just to let you know that you have no control over your mind or your body anymore.
Which, of course, is apropos to the movie itself. Yeah.
So, I managed to track down your records. You're not very easy to track down. I felt a little bit like Sherlock. You was like the disappearing woman. Lady Lucan, I think we'll call you from now on.
Yeah, can you just call me Ruth?
Yes, of course. So, did you know that if you hear a really high-pitched sound later on in pregnancy, you can just start spurting milk from your boobs? Like two rockets. It's like boom, boom, pow. It's quite magical.
Why are you telling me that?
Well, just so that you know you have absolutely no control over your mind or your body anymore. This one does. She's got all the control now.
She's like, baby knows what to do. Baby will tell you what to do.
Oh, and she does.
Yeah. And then she picks up the file. She's like, what's your partner do, Ruth? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she literally goes, I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to read your file, and then asked her that question before even, like, picking up her file. I'm like, maybe you should have read her file.
Yeah, and she tries to be sympathetic, and she's like, I don't know, nature has a way. And we get that wonderful line.
Yeah, well, nature's a bit of a cunt, isn't she? My favorite line in the movie.
I think, yeah, negativity's not good for the baby's spirit, though. And then so Ruth, she mopes around a park, obviously her partner is dead. We don't know why yet, or how. And then she browses clothes at some shop, dresses fancy, gets herself dolled up and heads to this, like, 70s disco night at some fucking dive bar.
Yep.
an absolutely loser place, and the baby is commenting like, empty, dead, like a graveyard. And we get to meet DJ Dan.
Good old DJ Dan.
Oh, he's a fucking joke.
This whole arc feels like a Tales from the Crypt episode.
It does. Like, a whole Tales from the Crypt episode about DJ Dan.
Yep.
He's up there, spinning the 70s hits and like, woo, yay, go to the bar, whatever. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, there's like 4 people in there, and they're already at the bar. No one cares about his stupid 70s music.
He takes off his goofy-ass afro wig, and he sits down at the bar next to Ruth. Ruth makes like a friendly effort at flirting.
Yep.
He's like offering her a drink, and he's like, I don't drink when I'm on the job. And then she calls him a pussy, and says, YOLO!
Yeah.
And he lays out that he's like, look, I'm not looking for a relationship or girlfriend or any kind of baggage. I'm too young for that stuff. I'm still a weekend warrior. And I'm like, Dan, you're like 45. Get the fuck over yourself.
But I do appreciate the honesty and the upfrontness.
Yeah.
He's not there to lead anybody on.
He's like, I am just here for pussy and spinning the hits of the 70s.
Yep. That's what he lives for.
And so he buys her a shot, but then he also buys a shot for these 2 younger women down there.
Right.
And explains truth. He's like, I can't put all my eggs in one basket.
Like, that is a winner.
Yeah. They do the shots. Ruth tosses hers right away.
Right.
She's pregnant. She ain't gonna drink this.
Right.
Do you want another one?
You trying to get me drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, you did before, didn't you?
Some might say.
Right, I'm going to just lay my cards on the table here because I don't want to lead you up the garden path. But I'm not after a relationship. I'm not after any sort of girlfriend or any baggage to carry down with me. So I'm sort of, a bit too young for all that sort of stuff. I'm still playing the game. I'm still, a weekend warrior. If you're after something a bit more serious because your body clock's kicking on and all that sort of stuff, then it ain't me. I don't want any part of that.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Oh, really?
We're the same.
You don't know anything about me.
I know enough. I've been watching you.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
What do you see?
I like what I see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
John, can I get another two? Actually, tell you what, let's get 4. Couple of shots there, girls. Because I'm going to get girls to be on me a drink as well, just just so I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. Girls, come on. That's it, lovely, look at that. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Oh, that's nice, wasn't it?
Oh, gosh.
And I like when she tosses her shot, it splashes on somebody else, and she's like, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah.
And the young women leave, and Dan's like, they were the prettiest girls here, but they suck. They don't got any banner. And Ruth just plays into Dan's awful ego. He's terrible.
Well, yeah, because she has a plan of her own.
Yeah. And she's dancing with Dan throughout all of this. And she's done as good as she can to hide her pregnancy.
Yep.
Dancing and flirting. But when they're slow dancing and he's got his gross hands on her ass,
Yeah.
we see that she's crying. She fucking hates this.
Yeah.
They're taking a cab back to his house.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make out with her. And he says, he has such romantic lines. I fucking love fat birds.
Yeah. Very, very romantic.
And then he throws up in his wig.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
And then tries to kiss her again.
It's like, Dan, I don't think she wants that.
Yeah, and he's like, being sick like that really turned me on.
It's like, God damn it, Dan.
Yeah, so they get back to his apartment, and she's like, have you got anybody that loves you, Dan?
Yeah. She gets really, really philosophical here.
Which he doesn't like.
Right, because he's just in it for some pussy.
Yeah, they try to sing a song together, and then she's like, do you want kids? He's like, no, I'm DJ Dan. I got a fun bus. And he's like, let me see your fanny. She brings up, like, you're very selfish. He's like, how am I selfish? And then we meet Dan's mom.
Yeah.
She wanders out, and he's like, give me a second to get rid of this bitch. And mom's kind of senile.
They'll say no, yeah.
And she's like, I gotta do the washing. You know, and as he's sorting Mom out, the baby's like, these are the people we're dealing with.
Right.
Dan, oh, so romantic. I wrote down more of his lines here. You smell like a stripper. I love that smell, fucking slutty and dirty. You're filth, aren't you? So what does Ruth do?
Cuts his balls off, quite literally.
Literally. Cuts him off. Says it's messy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Mom gets back up and wanders out. And Ruth is actually really kind to her.
Right.
You know, it's like, let's get you to bed. You got your teddy, you know? Do you want me to get you anything? I'll get the washing for you. Which she actually does.
Yeah.
She, like, washes the dishes and sets the dishwasher going. And we also see that Mom doesn't like Dan either. Because she thinks Ruth is some girl named Michelle.
Right.
And it's like, you should leave Dan, Michelle. You're too good for him. And as they leave, the baby tells Ruth, you're getting better at this. Remember what they did? They're out there. The rest of them. They cut my daddy down in his prime.
Right.
And we get baby's first murder journal again.
Yep.
And so then we go to the next name on baby's first kill list, which is Ella Harding, played by Kate Dickie. Have you seen her before?
No, I don't think I know she was in Game of Thrones. I didn't get that far, though, I don't think.
She was...
I stopped after the first season.
She's in the first season.
Oh, is she?
She's Lisa Aaron.
Huh, I don't remember.
The one that's up in the... it's that place where Caitlin goes. She's Caitlin's sister.
The Airy?
Yeah, the Airy.
Yeah.
She's the woman that runs the Airy in the first season.
Oh, she's the crazy one.
Yeah.
I want to see them fly. Yeah, that mother of that kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's this actress.
Okay, interesting.
She's a high-ranking businesswoman. And the baby's telling her, you know, like, oh, these are the most merciless and ruthless. And Ruth is there with, like, I suppose a fake resume.
Yeah.
To get this job interview. Which she's declined because she's pregnant.
Which you can't do legally, to my understanding.
Yeah. I mean, she's like, you'll be taking maternity leave as soon as you unpack your stapler. Incidentally, though, Alice Lowe said that this kind of stuff was her inspiration for writing this.
Oh, yeah?
Because she would... when she was pregnant before, probably not this same pregnancy.
No.
She was getting turned down for roles because she was pregnant. Or she was being typecast as just pregnant women.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of, like, prejudice against pregnant women that inspired her to write this. We do learn something about Ella's hobbies. That she likes activity weekends, as they're phrased.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was like, I went skydiving once. Which Ruth is like, who pays someone to throw them out of an airplane? That's not a substitute for a personality, is it? And then she gets up and, yeah, she kills Ella.
Do you always work late? Alone?
Yes. Well, I've got my priorities.
Don't you do anything else?
Well, of course. Well, I've got a dog. Walk him. Do my food shopping I've got to eat. I go on a odd activity weekend. I don't take them seriously or anything, but...
Why would you?
I'm so busy.
You must be.
I let my friend convince me to go on one of those skydiving things. I mean, can you believe it? Who does that? I mean, it's crazy, but I did it.
Skydiving?
Yeah.
No way.
It's mental.
Who pays someone to throw them out of an aeroplane? It's not a substitute for a personality, is it?
Sad, lonely woman. Be ruthless, Ruth.
Anyway, I'm sorry I wasted your time.
Word of advice. Get it out of your system, the motherhood thing. You know? Sort out your own business before you interfere with other people's.
Oh, I will.
I like how she uses Ella's dialogue.
Yes.
Because Ella's trying to justify not hiring her by saying, oh, it's a cutthroat world, I've had to make some harsh cuts.
Yeah, after she had just cut her throat. Had to make some harsh cuts. Some Crypt Keeper level punnery here.
Yeah, and I like the joy that she has afterwards. You know, when she's outside and she's smiling. The baby says that was perfect. And it's matched with those Furies from the classical movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the part where she's like, ooh, I like this chair. I wonder if I...
Yeah, I wonder if I can...
Just, like, breaks out of murder mode for a second to like, ooh, actually, this chair is really nice.
We get a news report, which kind of gives us a lot more information on what happened to her partner.
Yep.
Like, she's watching a rerun of the news report. Like, I guess she has it saved on her DVR.
Yeah, it's inspiration, I guess.
But her partner had been on a climbing trip, one of those activity weekends.
Yeah.
With 7 other people. And there was a tragic accident. They had to make a decision, and they cut this guy down to his death. And the climbing instructor, Thomas, is in the news talking about it. And Ruth is like, he has dead eyes. He's evil. And so that's who she goes to see next.
Yeah.
At his... It's like a climbing wall, but there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I guess it's a climbing training area.
Yeah, and she's like...
Instructions.
And she's giving him shit, but he knows what he's giving her shit about.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, this rope. You wouldn't put 7 people on this, would you? He's like, if something goes wrong, I'd be to blame. Oh, have you been to blame many times before? And he's like, ma'am, you're going to have to leave. And when she leaves, I love this scene with her in the hallway.
Yeah. Where
she has a contraction and she starts an argument with the baby, but we don't hear the baby here.
Right.
It's just her going, stop, do it, I'll do it, I'll kill him. It's like the baby's punishing her for letting him get away.
Right.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's good.
She goes to see her midwife again, who's concerned about Ruth's emotional state and mentions calling social services.
It's like jumping the gun a little bit there, aren't you?
Well, I mean, if you knew the truth, yeah, because Ruth's out there murdering people, but all you see is a depressed woman.
Right. Oh, and she does give her, like, the advice to the effect of, why don't you just try not being sad?
Yeah.
My favorite advice as someone who suffers from regular depression. Like, yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah. And then, the midwife, she's like, nobody's going to take this baby from you if you make the right choices. You have to decide what is right and what is wrong, which rather contradicts her earlier statement of you have no control over your mind and body.
Right.
But both scenes are important about Ruth's character development.
Yep.
And then I do like the scene where she's back home, picture of the dead partner, neighbors fucking next door.
Yep.
And that she leans herself against the wall.
Yeah.
To feel these vibrations, like to somehow be connected to the act of lovemaking again.
Yeah.
It so emphasizes her loneliness.
Yep.
And so she's out again, and this baby hates everybody.
Me and the baby are vibing at this point.
Look at this lot, all out on the rape, and the next morning they'll be all, it wasn't me. Animals, a fucking zoo, this town.
Yeah. It's like, I think I had that conversation in my head the other day.
Yeah. And so she goes to meet this guy named Josh. Like, she's interviewing to be a flatmate. For these 2 guys, there's Josh and Zach that lives upstairs.
Yep.
Josh is nice. Josh is a wonderful guy.
Yep.
Ruth makes up a story that, like, she had a boyfriend that walked out on her and kicked her out.
Right.
And Josh is like, that's so selfish. It's terrible. You know, here, have some of this food. Gets her to taste anchovies.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm Dr. Anchovy. This is my prescription. He's so nice.
Yep.
She even tells him, like, you're really kind. And they have a moment. The baby kicks. And he puts his hand there to feel. And he's like, she's saying, look at me, Mom. I learned how to do the boogaloo. Baby just slaps back. No, I'm not. I'm saying fuck off. I laughed so hard at that line. Yep. Like, literally, like, just 2 minutes. I had to pause the movie and just laugh.
Like, it was good.
No, look. I'm telling you to fuck off.
That was good. It was very good.
And then Zach walks in, and apparently Zach is the one that she's there to murder.
Yep.
And she wastes no time. She just fucking offs him right there in the doorway.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she has to kill Josh, too, because he witnessed it.
Yep. And she's not happy about it. The baby's completely cool with it. It's like he was a hipster twat anyway.
Yeah. That's what the
baby hates everybody.
And she's like, oh, baby, children these days are so spoiled. It's like, Mommy, I want a PlayStation. Mommy, I want you to kill that man.
That's right.
She's like, maybe he wasn't going to go call the police. The baby says, his name was Josh.
She goes, yeah, that's right. Nobody named Josh is not going to not call the police.
It was like, whoa, what do you have against Josh?
Man, she's had some experience with some Joshes in the past, apparently.
Yeah, so she tries to put on some, like, guided meditation about love and everything to relax, but then she has to get it and smash it all up, and we get this absolutely sinister baby. Listen to the sound of my voice. She's out on the street following Thomas, the guide again.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't stupid. He knows he's being followed. He turns around and tries to confront her, and she runs off.
Yep.
And then the baby gets deep. Quotes from some Greek drama here from Aeschylus.
Yep.
He hath slipped from the net whom we chased. He hath scaped us who should be our prey, or mastered by slumber we say. Oh, it just goes on.
Like, wow, well, that's a well-read baby.
Yeah. So to sate baby, you know, they pull out baby's first murder journal again and start going through the victims. Apparently the lizard guy was named Mr. Zabik.
Yep.
You know, and then there's Dan, where the baby jokes about he didn't have the balls. And then there's Ella, the baby's like, poor leadership skills, cold-hearted bitch. Zach, oh, he didn't speak, but I could tell he was a gobshite.
She was shame about Josh, though.
Yeah, shame about Josh. But he was named Josh.
Right.
And then Len. We get to meet Len, who is played by Gemma Whalen, who she was also on Game of Thrones. She played Yara Greyjoy, who I can't really remember that well. But this actress, she also does voices for several different Doctor Who audio programs.
That's cool.
Yeah. And this woman's fit.
Yeah, she's one of those kind of people that just like working out constantly.
Yeah. So Ruth shows up pretending that she's there for a charity.
Yep.
And Jen's like, nope, nope. And so when Ruth, you know, tries to do the murder, Len fights back. This ain't gonna be easy for Ruth. And the baby gives her shit. The baby's like, are you fucking this up deliberately, Mommy?
Yep.
Len's got these boxing gloves and she is ready to go. She's punching Ruth in the face every time Ruth is like speaking about stuff.
Yep.
But it's not until Len punches the baby and realizes, oh shit, I'm sorry I punched your baby, that Ruth kills her.
Yeah, Ruth just takes the opportunity there and kills her.
Tells her, you know what helps with the pain? Do some breathing, and starts guiding her through like Lamaze breathing.
Yep.
What are you doing? Fucking hell. I've called the police. Shit. Better get on with it then, hadn't I? Stop doing that. No. I'm gonna cut you. Look, I told you I already give to loads of different charities. What do you think this is? Like some kind of new initiative? You never know with charities these days. You can't trust anyone. Well, that is true. I mean, everyone's out for themselves. You're insane. I am a working mother. It is not easy meeting your kids' demands these days, you know.
Don't move forward or I will hurt you.
Tell me this, like, why do people pay for, like, sporting activities? I mean, I just don't get it.
Well, it makes you stronger.
Does it, though? It's just like following an instructor like a bunch of sheep. It's kind of weak-minded. Load of people searching for a purpose. I've already got one. I'm really sorry. Are you okay?
The police are showing up, so she's like, gotta go. She's gotta crawl her prego ass out that fucking doggy door.
Yep.
Which, she gets away. I'm surprised. I thought she was doomed.
She does it. She gets there, though.
Yeah, and so she's seeing her midwife again, and the midwife's like, you got a perfectly healthy little baby in there. Ruth is like, I would swap her to have him back. And the midwife's like, no, you can't feel that way. And I like when the midwife brings up, why did you miss your scan? Like her ultrasound?
Yeah.
And she says, because I don't know what's in there. I'm scared of her. I'm not in control.
Yep.
She doesn't want to see this baby. Oh, by the way, one thing I noticed here, has she has a like little flashback of her partner.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Matt.
Oh.
Same as the dead partner in Inside.
I guess if your name is Matt.
Yeah. You're gonna die while your partner's pregnant.
Yep, apparently so.
So Ruth is doing the good mom stuff now. She's reading the baby manual. She's doing yoga. And she's actually taking a lot of productive relaxation out of the yoga.
Yep.
But everything starts coming back on her.
Yeah, the baby's not happy about this.
No, the baby says, I know what you did. You can't shake me. I am Fury. Also with the shots of those Furies again. And the baby says, look, and shows her visions of her husband's death.
Yeah.
Where we get to see his head dashed upon the rocks.
No, it's pretty brutal.
It is brutal. And so now she's painting her face back at home, and she's like, I succumb to your will. Baby knows best. Because she puts on a costume. It's Halloween now. The last movie was Christmas. This one's Halloween.
Yep.
And she's got like a white face with a black skull mouth.
Yeah.
It's really good looking.
Yeah.
She wanders into this Halloween party and realizes that the instructor she's stalking, Thomas,
Yeah.
has a pregnant wife. And Ruth's like, no, I can't. I can't put her in the same position. But Baby's like, no, you have to.
Like, fucking do it.
Yeah, and that's when her water breaks and she starts going into labor. And the baby tells her, this is an act of love. It's all you have. What else is there? Go kill him. And so she goes to see him. You know, she's got the knife.
Yep.
And he brings up, he's like, I know who you are. You know, not from when she was there at the climbing center before, but from the inquest after her partner's death.
Right.
And she has a really good line here, you know, bringing up that he's expecting.
Mm-hmm.
She says, your baby is born of pleasure. My baby is born of pain. Because she found out about her pregnancy the day that her partner died.
Yep.
He tries to justify, like, look, you know, we did what we could. We had no choice at this group decision. He also brings up the fact that I spoke to him before he died. I know things weren't great between you. He was thinking about leaving you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believed that.
I don't know either, but it breaks her, you know, and so now he's trying to help her be a good guy.
Yeah.
And we have the birth, which apparently is a C-section.
Right.
But nothing at all like the one in Inside.
No.
Yeah, Baby has a great line of, I'm about to take my last voyage, a great leap into the dark.
Yep.
And that's the last time the baby talks.
Yeah.
So now we get Ruth seeing her baby, which is played by Alice Lowe's own baby.
Yep.
That she was pregnant with.
I think she's 10 days old in this scene I read.
Yeah.
Which is very young. Usually when you have babies in movies, they're like 4 months old.
Yeah,
you very rarely get actual like newborns. This is about as close as you get.
Yeah. Which I like, as it does look like a newborn. It's not those them gigantic 4-month-old babies you get in other movies.
Yep.
That are like fully developed. Like how did that come out of you?
Yeah. Of course, it could be Petey Wheat Straw.
Yeah. And Ruth's taken aback because, she's just normal. She's just a normal little baby.
Yeah.
And she's trying to tell the midwife, like, I've done terrible things. I got it all wrong. I thought I was doing this for her, but I was doing it for myself.
Right.
She realizes that the baby was never telling her what to do.
Right.
She was doing this.
Manifestation of her grief.
Yeah. So she kisses the baby goodbye and she just leaves.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? And she goes to those cliffs and I'm like, is she gonna fuck? No, don't do this. I thought she was gonna kill herself.
Yeah.
And she sees what we think is like Matt's ghost.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be Thomas. And she's gonna kill him. She screams and raises her hands up, and then we just cut to credits. And it's playing this fucking jammin' disco tune.
Yeah.
Do What You Want to Do by T-Connection. And that's the movie. What'd you think of it?
It's excellent. It's got a bit of horror, it's got a bit of comedy, and it's got a bit of, heart. It's sad.
It is very sad, because it really goes into a lot about this woman's grief, loneliness, and depression.
Right. And just the fear of being pregnant combined with losing your partner at the same time, that's enough to break anyone.
Yeah. I don't hate the ending, but I'm unsettled by it.
Yeah, I'm not in love with the ending. I don't... It just kind of is to me.
I wanted the happy ending, that she gets her baby and goes off to start a new chapter of her life.
Yeah. I think though that giving the baby just leaving, giving her a chance to be normal rather than raised by, the psycho murderer.
Yeah.
Might be for the best for the baby.
Yeah, well, it's important she does have that realization that it was not the baby that was making her do this.
Right.
Because, God, if she still kept that, she would never really bonded with that baby.
Right.
But, yeah, it's, where do you put this with coffee?
It's one of those coffees. It's a very good coffee. It's a little bitter, a little sweet, a little bit of gut punch, and ultimately very good and very satisfying.
Leaves an aftertaste that you can still feel.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
Right. Not in a bad way.
Yeah, this is a fantastic film.
It really is. I had never heard of it before, and I feel like this is one of those movies that probably deserves a little bit more widespread acclaim.
It does. This movie's very underrated. It's a fantastic movie. But next week, we still don't go back to the States, because next week we're looking at Japanese exploitation.
Yep. In fact, we're moving further away from the United States, as it were.
Yeah. Next week we're doing a movie, Stray Cat Rock, Delinquent Girl Boss.
Which is a phenomenal name for a movie.
Oh, yeah, it's a great name.
If the movie is good, I have no idea, but the name is God tier.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah. And then we'll be doing another exploitation. So join us for that next week. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.